Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another video. Today we're going to be playing Mordhau and trying Mordhau out. It's been about 2 years now since the game came out, so Mordhau is 2 years old now. I can't believe the time has gone by this fast, and let's dive right back into it. Is Mordhau still fun and playable in 2021? But before we get into the video, be sure that you have subscribed with those notifications on. There's about 97% of you that haven't done that. Maybe I earn your subscription today. Thank you very much. And then remember to like the video or dislike it, but do it later on when you have made your mind up or if you like it or dislike it. So let's get right into the video. Alright everybody, when I played Mordhau recently, I had a great time, but I didn't have a good of a time as I used to have in Mordhau. Now this is probably because I'm also getting rusty at the game, I don't have the skill anymore that it takes, and I have played Chivalry 2, and Chivalry 2 has a very different combat system compared to Mordhau, and after playing Mordhau, after having played Chivalry 2 in the closed beta, I must say that my opinion on the combat systems have kind of changed a little bit, and that is in the favor of Chivalry 2. Because in Mordhau I got killed so many times where I clicked the parry button too early. And now they've also added a system in Mordhau where you can see if you're parrying or if you're blocking, if you flinched or whatever is going on with your characters. A little bit, it was new to me, it was new. One thing I also noticed while playing Mordhau was that sometimes in the big battles it didn't feel as visceral and cinematically brutal as Chivalry 2 did. And what I mean about this is that, when you run around in Chivalry 2, people, like their bodies fall over slower, just because of dramaticness, I guess, and then, limbs fly left and right at ridiculous paces and speeds, they get like launched off bodies. And then of course, when you hear arrows pass by and Chivalry is like, phew, it sounds like a missile passing by your head. While in Mordhau it's a lot easier, it's a little bit toned down, probably a bit more realistic in that regard. However, the blocking really got to me. I was getting a little bit frustrated that I couldn't hold my blocks. So I ended up just going for archery, because archery was the only thing that I felt comfortable with at the moment, and I don't really feel like I'm going to be spending a lot of time, refreshing my memory and getting my mechanical skill on Mordhau back up again. Because the lobbies I played in, there was a lot of people, and now talking a lot of people that are really good at the game. And this is good if you want a skill ceiling to reach and you want to beat people. Mordhau has a long way to go if you want to get really good at the skill ceiling. However, for me, Mordhau is not what it used to be. 2 years ago when the game launched, it was a very, very fun game. And it still is, don't get me wrong, the game is still very, very fun. I just don't find it that fun when I pick it up again. I'm almost a new player at this point. It's been a long while since I played it. And as an almost new player, it felt almost punishing to just try to go after the people that were dressed most ridiculous. Most of the kills I got were either stabbing people in the back, and some of them I actually started to get a little bit into the groove a little bit later on in one of the castle maps. But also the map design of Mordhau feels, I don't know how to say it, it just feels a little bit off. After playing Chivalry and Chivalry 2 quite a lot recently, it's a little bit weird going to Mordhau, where the maps don't seem to have the same kind of purpose behind them as Chivalry 2 does. Mordhau has very cool looking maps, don't get me wrong, they look amazing, and they kind of feel really cool in the realistic way. But cinematically, and that feeling of epicness kind of vanishes when you see people feinting you 40,000 times before they strike you and kill you in one blow with a hammer. I've seen a lot of people using them all, and man, props to them. That's a slow weapon, but that hits like a truck. I also noticed that the flow of Mordhau didn't feel as smooth as I remembered it being. Yes, you can attack from every direction, but to be honest, after having not really played Mordhau for a while, it was confusing in the beginning. I do see how this can be really cool though, and I kind of wish Chivalry had something semi-similar to this, like where you could directly place your attacks in different slashes. But we gotta remember that Chivalry 2 is also cross-play. You gotta have the combat system a little bit easier with the way weapons attack from, because, consoles, they have a more limited set of buttons to click compared to a PC. Now, in 2021, if you are looking for a medieval slasher, and you're looking for a competitive scene to get good at, I would say Mordhau is definitely one of those games that you can sit down with right now and get really good at. However, it's also one of those games that if you just want to play a casual medieval game, I don't know if Mordhau is the game for you anymore. When I try to join lobbies, yeah, you can get some kills here and there, but it doesn't feel as visceral as Chivalry 2 did. And I know I'm comparing Mordhau at the moment a lot with Chivalry 2, but this is because we're in 2021. I want to compare it with the competition it's going to be getting very soon. I mean, Mordhau was supposedly the kind of spiritual successor to Chivalry 1 because Tormatter spent a lot of time deciding to make Chivalry 2. Probably not too long, but I mean, it took a while for them to get the playable game out there. So Mordhau directly compared to Chivalry 2 at this moment, I would actually recommend Chivalry 2 over Mordhau. Just because it's a little bit easier to get into, it's a little bit more forgiving on the blocking side, you don't get fainted as much. However, I'm pretty sure that Chivalry 2 will get more depth than what we have seen so far. I've seen a lot of different comments on the previous videos that Chivalry 2 seems too simple, while somebody says that this guy had this many hours and he was really good at the game and it's deeper mechanics. I've had other people say they've played a few hundred hours and they feel like it's too simplified. But the simplification of the combat in Chivalry 2 I think is because of the console cross-platform stuff. So we get more player base, we get a bigger, chunkier player base from all sides of the gaming aspect. I mean, it's popular being cross-play all over the place now. I don't think Mordhau would work as well as a cross-play title. How would you choose your attack direction? I don't think it would be as easy for a console as for with Chivalry 2, where it's a little bit more set in stone how your animations and attack goes through. However, even if your animations and attacks are set in stone, it doesn't mean that Chivalry 2 has less depth. Because in Mordhau, yes, you can slash from kind of every angle, but every slash doesn't really matter that much. If somebody slices from the left, like in any angle or degree on the top 45 degree angle, and I do a slash just 90 degrees to my right to chamber his attack, I can do that. It doesn't matter what kind of angle he uses, I can just use whatever angle that is on my right side to chamber it. And also the blocking system in Mordhau, my goodness, I was getting frustrated with it because I really wanted to hold my block. And to be honest, it's very punishing if you miss your blocks and it can get to you very fast. At least if you play Chivalry 2, holding your block feels safe. You feel safe until you get kicked and then you realize you shouldn't have held your block the entire time. And then you die. So, in the short term of everything, Mordhau in 2021 is worth it if you're going to play it for a little bit more competitive nature, that high skill ceiling. There's a lot of skill in there. There's a lot of skill involved and it's definitely a good game still. Very good game as well. However, if you're just going to play it casually and not really try to get too good at the game, and just relax and, you know, play a bit of Mordhau and think you're going to be amazing at sword fighting, I don't think so. You will probably get there eventually, of course. The more you play, the better you will get. However, I don't think it is the game for me anymore, sadly. Mordhau in 2021 for me is still a game I'll play, but not as much as I used to do back in the day. Hopefully you found some knowledge or information in this video that you enjoyed. If you did, leave that like down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Why haven't you done that? And click it with all notifications so you're notified when all the videos come up live. Anyways, tell me what you think in the comments down below. Until the next one, we're gonna have a great time. And if you're not having a great time, you need to get into a great time right now. Because we're about to have a great day. So until next time, bye bye.